Afternoon, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times. It's Friday, March the 11th. The National Weather Service says the rain will end Sunday. I can't say when. The funniest news today to me is the angling in the Republican presidential primary. Marco Rubio in Florida has urged his supporters, if he has any in Ohio, to vote for John Kasich. Unusual to have one candidate endorsing another. He says that's the best way to stop Donald Trump. An acid Kasich spokesman responded that they'll win Ohio without Marco Rubio's help, and Rubio will lose Florida without his help. So a lot of fun to watch in the days ahead as those big primaries come up Tuesday. A legislative committee met at the Capitol today and talked about criminal justice reform. There seems to be some indication that there is interest in reforming sentencing to some degree. We're sentencing people to too long a term of years for some crimes. It's filling the prisons up. It costs a lot of money. There was pushback from a prosecutor, Cody Highland of Conway. Big news in Little Rock today was broken last night, really, on the Arkansas Times blog. It's a small matter, but it's large symbolically. A bureaucrat at the State Department of Arkansas Heritage ordered the museum, Mosaic Templars Cultural Center, the Museum of the Black Experience in Arkansas and Little Rock, to stop selling a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. The interim director of the museum told David Kuhn that this was because of some fear that there might be cultural sensitivities that would be offended by this shirt. Whether this has anything to do with the fact that Department Director Stacey Hurst has been supported in the past by the Little Rock Fraternal Order of the Police, and police brutality is one, but not all of the concerns of the Black Lives Matter movement isn't known, but the shirt was removed. This has caused quite a furor on the community. There are other things underway that suggest a reshaping of that black museum that has people unhappy with the State Department. A lot more is going to come out on this story in the days ahead. The department later issued a statement saying, well, they really reviewed merchandise at museums and decided that this shirt just didn't fit their policy of only selling wearables that have museum names and logos on it. This is a direct variance with the museum director's statement to us. However, I think they're trying to cover up a bad situation. Also on the Arkansas Times blog today, we reviewed the personal debts that candidates for Supreme Court amassed in seeking those seats, both winners and losers. And it's going to be interesting to watch how many lawyers step up to pay off those debts of these candidates. The big debt is by Courtney Goodson, who lost her race for Chief Justice. She loaned almost $500,000 to her campaign for a huge TV blitz that didn't help her win the Chief Justice race. She does have a wealthy husband who can pay for things. She remains on the court, though, and so lawyers might be wanting to contribute to help her out. Circuit Judge Wade Naramore of Hot Springs, who's charged with a misdemeanor count of negligent homicide in the apparently accidental death of his child, 18-month-old son, who was left in a hot car 18 months or so ago, pleaded not guilty today in circuit court. There was no testimony in the case. A trial's been set later in the year. For reading people, and you're interested in the public schools in Arkansas, I'd refer you back to Arkansas Blog for reporting that Benji Hardy did yesterday on the State Board of Education meeting on the return of control of local school districts to elected school boards, on charter school fights, but particularly on a far-reaching decision to waive educational rules for regular public school districts, supposedly so they can compete better with charter schools. Many unanswered questions. Benji's done a great job of explaining that. Elsewhere, perhaps a happy note, Daily Beast reports in an analysis of Twitter responses that looking for where people are most likely to say awful things about other people, blacks, women, gay people, fat people on Twitter. Turns out Arkansas is the 5th most civil state in the union in terms of giving derogatory remarks on Twitter, so maybe there's something for us to be happy about. Or maybe we're just not smart enough to discover Twitter yet. I don't know. That's my tweet for today. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back next week.
You feel it in your heart. The spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team.